You'll notice tonight that I'm wearing black and white. This is for me to show some form of solidarity with what's gone on in America. That George Floyd situation, I couldn't really come on and comment about things live without mentioning that. It's outrageous. I mean, it is just outrageous. I won't deal with the way people are protesting. We all have to protest in our own way. I mean, I have questions about that, as everybody does. But I mean, it was just outrageous that we've seen that picture. And a couple of things about commenting on this is, one, there's going to be a court case, and so I can't comment on something that might prejudice some form of court case. And the other thing is, whatever I say, there's people going to say you're racist. It's absolutely ridiculous, but you know, I've grown up with that, the same as of people of colour have grown up with racism. I've been accused of, I hate being accused of things I'm not, and so, but you just have to get used to it and carry on. So just let's talk about what's happened in America. This policeman, allegedly, a policeman has arrested a man of colour, although I assume we can now say black because of Black Lives Matter, coloured stuff anymore. This black man was restrained and died. He was killed by a police officer. There's no other way to look at it. And I hope when he goes to court, they're going to give all the full details and this man will get what he deserves. And I hope justice is done. And what's more, it should be seen to be done. There'll be lawyers queuing up now saying he didn't set off to murder him. If he wanted to murder him, he should have shot him. No, listen, I work in prisons. My team work in prisons. I've worked a lot with the military, special forces. I know a bit about taking care of myself. I've never had to, thank God. But you know restraint. There's certain things restraint. Now, we're taught how to restrain someone in prison. We're taught how to protect ourselves with someone in prison. And you don't do it like that. I read in the newspaper today, well, it's actually the Mail, that in some states in America, the police and people of authority were trained to restrain people by kneeling on their neck. Kneeling on their neck, for fuck's sake. That's not restraining someone. You're in danger of getting... Look, I had a mate called Flo, right, from Hereford. And he could put you in a sleeper hold and make you go to sleep, okay? Another guy called Mick Gould. Look up Mick Gould, okay? Mick Gould trained the special forces how to fight. He'd teach you how to kill someone with a credit card and how to pick a lock with a hairdryer and stuff like that. And he could kill you with his thumb. I could kill someone with my finger. Bang. No, but they know restraint. You know, if you're trained to restrain someone, how far to go. And it didn't look like that happened. Now, now I have to ask myself, if that was a black policeman doing the same thing to a black person he was arrested, would he be charged exactly the same? Yes, of course he would. He's not doing his job correctly. It's outrageous. Would there be this outcry? We don't know. I don't know. I don't know the answer to it. All I know is that in this country now, people of colour, black people, are now protesting along with their white friends. Me as well, to an extent. This is my little protest to say, and what is this stuff? Black Lives Matter. Yes, Black Lives Matter. Brown lives matter. Every life matters. Is that bad for me to say that why does does it mean Black Lives Matter more than anybody else? I don't think that's the message. Or is it saying that Black Lives Matter, but we don't think that you white people seem to believe that? Well, this white person does. I just believe there's, you know, there's arseholes in every different nation, isn't there? When I lived in Dubai, I had people from Sri Lanka working for me for 5 years. They were fantastic. When she went back to Sri Lanka, I gave her the money to buy a house because she was wonderful. Then I come back here and meet a Sri Lankan who's a complete dick and awful. So what? I don't tend to judge people by their colour or their race. Are the Welsh a race, for instance? You know, is that racism when I have stood at Hampden Park in Scotland and everyone starts to sing, "Stand up if you hate the English," and then the bloke said to me, "You're right, Jim said, doing," you know. But is that just a dislike of another country. Race is colour, isn't it? Race is not about disliking Belgians. Race is about black and white. It's as simple as that. And something needs to be done, because there's going to be an almighty eruption soon if we're not careful. And I have to ask, right, first of all, the black people and friends, anybody, young people, old people who are demonstrating in London about what happened in America, what do we, and I'm classing myself in now, someone that's outraged as well, what do we hope to achieve? What do we hope to achieve by protest? What do you hope to achieve by saying Black Lives Matter? Okay, I can understand really protesting if something immediately happens to you. Like, we're not opening this shop till 4 o'clock. Okay, we're going to protest outside. Okay, we'll open it. Oh, fuck, what do we do now? So what are we trying to achieve in America? What does all the looting and the rioting achieve? It just makes people more prejudiced. Why give them the ammunition? Do you know what? This might seem a little bit stupid. And of course, I leave myself open to be criticised all the time. But when I was at school, I think when I was a little kid, we would talk about, there was a contest between the sun and the moon, and who was more powerful. Was it the sun? No, well, let me, I love live stuff, don't you? It was the sun and the wind. Who was more powerful? And all us kids, teacher, it's the wind because it blows, like that. And she told the story of a man walking along in his overcoat, and the sun and the wind had an argument with each other. They had a bet who can get him to take his overcoat off, and the wind blew like hell, and the man just gripped it like that in defiance. And the sun just shone and was kind, and the man took his coat off. Is that not a better way to protest? I would speak to the people that are protesting now, and they have every right to protest. Unless, of course, I say you have every right to protest, and then you'll probably, someone will say, well, you fucking know. But watch the film Gandhi. Watch Mahatma Gandhi, who protested about British rule, colonial rule. How he got people to protest, and then how he got, or tried to get an end to the Muslim and the Hindu argument that was going on. They were terrible, that led to thousands of people being killed out there. And there still is that division. Of course, Pakistan now is a mainly Muslim country, and India isn't a Muslim country. And you wouldn't think there's racism between two people of the same colour. Is that racism? I remember saying to my driver in Dubai, Kashif, he was a nice kid, and I said, it's funny how the word Paki offends people when it's the same as Aussie in Sweden. I went along, Swede, Oz, frog, Paddy. I did all that, and I said that people refer to Pakistanis in England, some people, a derogatory tone, has called him a Paki. And he said, I am a Paki. I said, that wouldn't offend you. No, why would it offend me? I'm proud of being a Paki. I said, what would offend you? He said, call me Indian. That would offend me. Now, it is amusing to me as a white person that people of other colour dislike one another. It is bizarre, but I don't know the outcome. What do you want? David Lammy and Abbott, Diane Abbott, they have a great voice for black people. But you never see them together, them two, do you? But what's the answer? What do you do? Black Lives Matter? Yes, they do. All lives matter. I watched something on Netflix the other evening while waiting for dinner, and it was a story, a two-parter about Muhammad Ali and the way he was treated. But he was treated, it was instant. It was where black people couldn't get on the front of the bus, they had to go to the back of the bus. There was an old joke back in the 70s of this man, a white man in America, said, I'm sick of this racism. You're not black, you're not white, you're all green. And this black guy got on the bus and he said, back of the bus. He said, dark greens at the back, light greens at the front. And that was the racist sort of joke. And the idea was you laughed at the racist rather than the racism within the joke. But what is the answer to it? And Muhammad Ali went on to, I saw him on the Parkinson show, and he was going on about how black people are stronger than white people. And if you look at the Olympics, there's not much of an argument to be had there. But he said, if you have a black coffee, it's strong. If you want to make it weak, you put white milk in it. Of course, everyone laughed because he said it with a twinkle in his eye. But then I saw him on the news saying, the Viet Cong ain't the Viet Cong never called me no N-word, you know? Why should I go and kill people? They ain't my enemy. You white people, you're my enemy, the white people. I ain't got no freedom here. And he was right, because it was happening to him Now, and the people in London that are going out, there was a girl on the news today, in the Mail today, so it's not really news, and she said, because when someone said, look, it's okay you're going out protesting, but you've got 500 people, mostly black people and the young friends. Young people don't look at each other as black and white. They don't. It's old fossils that look at black and white and try and separate. We're all, you know. Anyway, they were all there, and someone said, well, hang on, you're risking catching coronavirus. You're breaking the social exclusion. 600-700 people all together marching. And do you know what she said, this young black girl? She said, I've got more chance of being murdered by a policeman than catching coronavirus. Now that's not right, is it? Something is not right. Well, of course, the other thing is, what about all the mixed race people here? You know, I'm going to say now, some of my best friends are black. I'm not going to say that, but two of my really, really good friends are mixed race. I mean, they're brilliant. Now, they don't look at themselves as black or white or anything. They just look at themselves as people. Is a zebra, right, a black animal with white stripes, or a white animal with black stripes? He's just an animal. He just wants to be a fucking animal, no matter how many people tell him it's different. Is the shirt black and white or white and black? All I know is this shirt represents of what we've got to do. Everybody's got to do. We've got to stop baiting one another. Start to love one another like we all can. Okay? We're all the same. Okay, people say to me, but you take the piss out of black people. Yeah, I do. If we're all the same, can't I take the piss out of everybody? What's going on? Again, I'm the bad guy. But I had to get that off my chest. Some things has got to be done. I don't think the answer is to send out the National Guard and shoot everybody. But sometimes what option is there going to be when you... I saw another thing on there, I think, Facebook. Some Italian-American men outside their Italian restaurant with shotguns and assault rifles, saying to the protesters, don't come here, don't loot here. Don't fucking loot them, motherfucker, you go... Okay, so everyone thinking, oh, they won't have a go at them. But come on, it's about time we all decided to get together. All the leaders of the communities, whatever that means. Let's try and love one another. We're all in this together.